bad, very bad student. And I hated geography.
Oh.
Geography because it meant place names and you had to learn whether it was hot there or cold there, whether it was north or south. It was all very vague to me. Then, I think it was much later in life, I went to some embassy for my visa and I saw a map of the world. And I forgot about my visa. I was so fascinated looking at the map and saying, Acha, this is here compared to this is where it is. This is east, this is east of this place, this is west of this place. I said, why didn't they teach us geography with maps? Why do they have to make it so abstract? For a child to say Australia is in the south, where is the south for a child? And Iceland is in the north. There's no relationship, there's no way of understanding. You put it on a map, it all falls into place. That's what Ritu has done with this book. It really means nothing to us. I tried, Ritu, I must tell you, I tried today to make my opening speech full of idioms. So it's a lot of hard work, but I'm a journalist at heart and by profession for many years. And I will ask you the famous journalist questions. Who, why, where and how and when, right? So let's start with why. Why this book?
I never wanted to be an author, but this passion, I was always interested in media as well as in education. When I was teaching, I did my PG diploma in broadcasting arts also. I was presenting TV and radio programs also. So when I was teaching, I wanted to be there, and when I was in media, I wanted to be in education also. So this is the amalgamation of both the things, and it's the first chapter is unique hobby. It's only because of this unique hobby it has been written down. So I think who doesn't like it? Just tell me.
Everybody.
Everybody.
And have you counted how many of your proverbs and idioms and sayings are there?
I have not, but one of my friends in Toastmasters Club, she said like 1,000, there are so many, and with every chapter you have some. In one chapter there are 350, so they are countless. They are numerous.
I want to know now the how. How did you go about deciding which idioms to take? Where did you find them? Did you go through Rel Martin? Did you go through other books?
This is $1 million question, because when this is basically based on newspaper in education. When we read newspaper, and this is what I was doing with my students, it was not only the entertainment, it was politics, sports, everywhere. I was picking up good words for vocabulary and idioms and phrases also. But when I decided to write this book, I chose the entertainment page because that's my most favorite thing. And then, of course, to be safe, be on the safer side, this is the best thing. So, but this is without any gossip, because if you are taking politics, obviously one would be in hot soup. So I wanted to say, keep myself safe. So that's I chose entertainment, and lot of this is creativity at its best, because when one is writing a song also, the imagination has to be used. But each paragraph I have to take up the real story, and I have to make, nobody should have the objection. I just took the idea and then developed on it, and adding idioms and proverbs also. So when you read it, you will have the idea how much labor has gone into it.
No, but tell me, I'm still curious. What was your modus operandi? What did you do? You first put down all the idioms you knew?
No, ma'am. First I wrote the story, then I had written down those idioms.
But did you make a list of the idioms?
No, it's all imagination, and some I picked up from newspaper. But mostly my own, I felt here this idiom should come, my own knowledge, wisdom, and imagination. And somewhere I took the help also of the book, what can be this, which idiom can fit here. A lot of brainstorming.
Yes, I know. What was the decisive factor in your choosing the stories?
Yes, that's a million-dollar question because I was reading which the news which you leave also entertainment news. I read from A to Z all the stories I was reading, and can you imagine in 1 month maybe I just picked up one story which can be useful because not every story can be selected and written down. So when you read, and it's not only newspaper. Initially I started with the newspaper, then I read one after another, so many memoirs, and then I picked up the story.
But the question a little hatke, as they say, people don't read nowadays.
Yes.
You know, reading has become obsolete.
Very true.
So where did you find the motivation, the energy, the time to go through so much over and above your work, your daily
I tell you, but readers and all successful people, they say they read one book once in a week. So finished. Their readers are still existing because without reading you cannot write. Without reading you cannot speak also. Recently I had that session program of Vicky where Twinkle Khanna had come, and see at this age she has done masters in creative writing, and she said reading is so important if you want to be the writers. So reading, those who are readers are reading. Those who are not reading, they will have millions of excuses.
How many in the hall read? Beyond newspapers and magazines. And your phone. Yes. Phone everywhere. Phone is not counted. See how many hands went up. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, shall we read them? And ask what they read? I do this with my students. What did you read? Then there is no answer. They have forgotten the book they have read. They are reading, but they have forgotten it.
Correct.
That's how it is. Anyway, how long did this take? Was it a year? Was it a few months?
Well, I think I had started collecting the worksheets for my students because I was teaching vocabulary and enrichment and creative writing. So I wanted to make a book out of it. But how it came, and Sandeep Parvaji is present here. I think I went to him with my worksheet 7-8 years back, and he guided me. But when I started with those worksheets I left behind, how it started with this journey, even I don't know. And it's an experiment, and I feel it has become successful.
No, it has. Because when you first sent me that draft, I read it and I was absolutely not impressed. I said, what is the use of this, And why is she asking me for a forward? So I called her. I said, what is this? I wanted to say, what is this nonsense? I wrote to pray, very polite. So I said, what is this you are doing? She said, no, it's not like that, it's like this. So I said, okay, send me more chapters. And then it all kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, it fell into place. So I think, yes, it is a very unique idea. And do you think there are other ideas like this that you will find that will help students, help people understand the language better?
Yes, people have so many. I mean, so many teachers, they have any idea. But the important thing is one needs to be passionate about it, and then one needs to work hard.
And dedicate time. So when would you work on this book? At what time of the day?
This became my passion. I think I was spending all my day in, day out on it.
So class में आप बोलते थे आप कुछ कर लो मैं book
I left my classes because of it. I put all my eggs in one basket. But now I will start my workshop based on this. That is
There are some very unusual chapter names. You want to read some of the names of the chapters? Acquaint the audience, just the names of the chapters, then we'll go into other things.
Like newspaper, all the topics have been covered. It is left, we all love Mr. India, this is the Church's name, but it has been written down, it has not been written down in the English, but in the Czech. Given these titles.
How much of editing went into the book after you finished writing?
But today only I was feeling like when I was planning which chapter to read. So it's not important to even watch all the movies, because one objection came to me about the book. Ma'am, हमने तो ये movie देखी नहीं है, हम कैसे पढ़ें?
तो आप कहानी तो बता रहे हैं आप.
हाँ?
You are telling the story anyway.
हाँ, I'm telling the story anyway, and बहुत अलग तरीके से present किया है. It's not the review which you read in the newspaper. It's for vocabulary enrichment, and then some sort of lesson is there.
Ms. Mirza, you have any questions?
A very interesting discussion, and continuing from where Satya ma'am left, asking Ritu ma'am about the chapter's name and all. Please help us understand, Ritu ma'am, which is your favorite chapter? Because in the book from Daler Mehndi to Priyanka Chopra Jonas, we have it all. And seriously, hats off to your research and strategy to understand the media, the idea of language from that. But your favorite chapter?
Which lady's favorite? But I will not say this is my favorite chapter, but this chapter, Healing Touch, that reads like a novel, because this is the chapter which I wrote when I lost my father, and COVID period. I was totally depressed, and I was day in and actually I was writing it. So when you read the stories also, you can find the pain of those people and how they brought their life back on the evening theme. That is this chapter.
So let's read a little bit, no? Let's just read a little bit.
Okay, with that again something related to the work. I was when I came to the program, so as a professor, as an academician, when I look into the research of the book, बहुत मेहनत दिख रही है. Seriously, Ritu ma'am, you need to be complimented for that. But ये मुझे बताइए कि I know you, because the book is doing wonders. You've been going to various forums. सबसे अच्छा आपको अच्छी तारीफ कौन सी मिली है आपको? Which is the best compliment that you've received for the book? You बहुत तारीफ करिए, but the best message, compliment for the book.
I think the chapter which I was telling her, Healing Touch. So this is by Isha. She said when she was reading, so many hurts, they really got healed. So this is the best compliment.
One last one from my side, because we also want our friends who have joined today to be presenting questions. Ritu ma'am, what's the next plan? This book has done wonders. आगे का रास्ता क्या है?
Now I left my teaching because of it. Now I go back to my workshop based on it. This is one thing.
But will you be using this book in your workshops?
Yes.
How do you see that happening?
See, there are chapters. In fact, the last two chapters, how grammar can be taught through the media. Like many people who are, I have taught pronunciation of content and content through film industry. There's so many people who are content writers, they also mispronounce it. These examples, which really are very relatable, would help the students and everyone.
And there are some philosophies that you quietly slip in. If you look at some of your pages, in fact, I've marked some of those pages where, while you're talking of a story, you're talking of something, you just slip in a little bit of philosophy. How was that done consciously, or it just happened?
Proverbs means philosophy. So philosophy, and when it's without philosophy and wisdom will come. What is Proverbs?
That is true.
How to live life. They teach us life lessons.
Would you like to read something? Then we can ask the audience. We'll read something, we'll ask the audience, when we want them to keep quiet, we'll ask you to read it.
Embrace pain and burn it as fuel for our journey. Strange are the ways of life that makes us believe in the proverb that sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Time stands still when one speaks of the acclaimed actress Hema Malini. She had to pay a big price for success when everything was built and good for her. The time when she was at the zenith of success and was fetching unprecedented fees. This was the time when India's heartthrob was at the peak of her fame and had scaled the highest of heights. Audiences were fascinated by her performance. She had them in the palm of her palm of her hand. Tragedy befell her in the form of a fan. Excess of anything is bad, and here is an example of how the excessive desire of a fan to meet Hema ji got worse. An enthusiastic Pakistani fan hung around Hema Malini's bungalow for over a week to catch a glimpse of her as he was hell-bent on having a meeting with her. He was starstruck and had gone bonkers over her. With Hema on his mind, he watched her car speedily going out of the gate every day. He found himself in a tight spot as he was not getting a chance to see her. Day after day, he waited from dawn to dusk until Hema returned from work. But her dutiful security did not allow him inside the gate. And then what he did was the shock of her life for Hema ji. And what was that shock and how she brought her life on the even keel. You have to read the story to know about her. Now this is from the latest movie. You are the artist of the story of a young widow, Sandhya, played by Samya Malhotra, who took to her role like a fish in water. Public speaks of the importance of letting go in order to start the new chapter. Sandhya is crazy, public. And the sting from the word crazy has been taken out from her as she becomes symbolic of a woman crazy enough to break shackles and take on the world. Just after 5 months of her marriage, she finds herself at the loose end.
Died like a bomb with a gun. Known for his versatility, Kapoor has moved the masses with action, romantic and comic
industry and making condescending remarks about it is not right. We should not throw the baby out with the bathwater. As Bollywood has given us great dialogues, songs, movies, talents, and artists, Bollywood has done wonderful work and has great history. It encompasses art, life, society, literature, and gives employment to a large number of people. He says the filmmaker never makes a film to harm anyone. Art can be interpreted differently, but the intent of the creator is very important. A river has a different meaning for the one who is fighting his race and for the one who is standing at his shore. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Thank you so much.
361. The key to everything is patience. You get the chicken by hatching the eggs, but not by smashing it. Arnold H. Glasgow. The popular Swahili proverb, patience attracts happiness, it brings near that which is far, can aptly be explained by example of the virtue of patience on part of both Raj Kapoor and Dimple Kapadia. Legendary Raj Kapoor was an avid reader of Archie comics all through his life. I think that explains why that Archie movie came. So influenced he was by them that he decided to make the first teenage romantic movie of India, and it was called Bobby. Yes, Bobby. Rahul Rawal, the director, shares that in one of the scenes in Bobby, Raj Kapoor went through about 27 takes of the same shot. This is the well-known scene where Raja, played by Rishi Kapoor, comes to Braganza House for the first time and the stunningly beautiful Bobby, who's baking a cake, opens the door and smears her hair with the cake batter. Dimple had to wash her hair 27 times for the retake, while Kapoor patiently kept egging her on and on till he achieved what he wanted and he was striving for. The unique innocence on her face, enhanced by the simplicity of the flour batter smeared on her face, this innocence made Raja fall head over heels in love with her in that movie. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. What a pleasure to be here this evening with all of you on this beautiful, well-designed program on the relaunching, I must say, of Hinglish. I'm recollecting two lines. कि रास्तों की दिलकशी अपनी जगह, चलने वालों की भी मर्जी चाहिए. यूं तो महफिल में हम पढ़ते रहे, सुनने वालों की भी मर्जी चाहिए. लाख आंसू इश्क भी रोए तो क्या, आसमानों की भी मर्जी चाहिए. Well, what a lovely day. I'm recollecting all that, what has happened in last few years. Let me put that few years. Almost 6 years back, we launched the cover of the book in British Parliament. Can you imagine? I happened to be there in the House of Commons, and Ritu Soni was also there, Mrs. Bhagat, and she was forcing me that my cover is ready. Can you manage to launch here in the British Parliament? And because I knew the organizers very well, I put up a little point there. I say, this looks very interesting. There's a lady from India and she's eager and anxious for this kind of an action. मेरी तो देखा कुछ मिलेगा. मैंने कहा मिलेगा कुछ नहीं. अगर आप launch कर सकते हैं तो बताइए. Thank God she listened to me. That she was also a lady, and we created an event within an event and actually released the cover in British Parliament. This is how the book started 6 years back. Why? Because I saw a very passionate writer in Ritu Bhagat. What a passionate! She was all the time talking about book. I mean, imagine she's taken 5 years to actually complete a book. And that's what happens when you're so serious about writing a book, when you're so serious about a project or a product. It takes time to come out with something which is very extraordinary. When I met, then she took an appointment and came to Marva Studios. उसके बाद 15-20 मिनट के लिए आ रही है. आ जाइए. 1.5 घंटा हो गया, उठने का नाम ही नहीं ले रही. तो मैं कहा, रितु जी, I have another appointment. You're not coming to the point. And she picked up a thela, plastic thela, which was full of cuttings. I said, what is this? Like a child, like a kid, like a school girl. You've been collecting these kind of cuttings? What is this all about? And that added a lot of anxiety, a lot of excitement in my mind. And I actually pulled that whole affair and started reading those papers, cuttings of the newspapers, and I was amazed. And those cuttings were nothing but some entertainment news from different newspapers talking about Bollywood news, and in every news I could find one or other idiom. And then she said, I have an idea that can I write a book on idioms? I said, what a unique idea. But since she was not clear, now cut short, I told this lady that you have to get into first research. Do a lot of research before you get into writing a book. Collect ample information. Yes, collect, and you have to be technically fit. And then you have to write a book under some reserved condition. And that makes RITU, Ritu. Your name speaks about it. Research, information, technically fit, and under limited conditions. And I'm happy that she took it very seriously and started working on it. Almost 10 times we must have had almost an hour and a half meeting on this book. Many times the trend, the pattern, the system, the presentation changed. And one good day I say, enough, agar aap ab final nahi kar rahe ho, so I'm not going to meet at least on this subject. And that was the D-Day when she said, yes, this is final, and this is I'm going to go. And she presented this absolutely unique book. I have never seen a book like this ever. I'm also a reader, but never seen a book like this. It's a unique product. It's a piece of art, and it has gone into the history of publishing books. My special thanks to Rupa Publication, who has gone out of way to see to it that something like this must be published and must be given to the masses for their day-to-day affairs, and for it's a collector's item. Let me put that way. And with all these words, I once again congratulate Ritu Bhagat for giving such a wonderful baby to the country of India. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. And before I leave, probably two more lines for you. कि विभासित कर गगन भूतल, तिमिर को ज्योति देता चल, निराशा के अंधेरे को. This is for all those writers who are still looking for it. विभासित कर गगन भूतल, तिमिर को ज्योति देता चल, निराशा के अंधेरे को मिटा दे ले प्रभंजन बल. कहीं पूनम अमावस्या, कहीं उलझन, कहीं फिसलन, कहीं कांटे, कहीं पहरा कटिल बंधन. यहाँ प्रतिकूल है सब कुछ, कहीं मरुस्थल, कहीं बादल, मगर तू मुस्कुराता चल, दिशाएं हो उठे उज्जवल, मगर तू मुस्कुराता चल. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
बहुत बहुत सुंदर और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर. तुम मुस्कुराता चल. Yes, that's the important one. Thank you. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर. May I now invite
Trying to have me over, so I'm very, very confused. It's a thick Bible, and it's a lot of reading, but the one thing I find very interesting, I'm not a great reader, but I like to read books that are unique. I like to read autobiographies, and but in this book, I can see, I haven't read it obviously, the entire thing. I've just done about 4%. But what I find in it is a great opportunity for the people to understand the meaning of so many idioms that we use, so many muhawaras.
शुक्रिया. ये गुलमोहर आज मुझे वो सबसे बढ़िया इबादत गाह लग रही है, क्योंकि यहाँ हम किताब की बात कर रहे हैं. आज के युग में जब ना किसी के पास समय होता है, ना किसी के पास शायद इंटरेस्ट है, लेकिन इस ज़माने में अगर ऐसी किताब आती है और लोग उसको बड़े ध्यान से, बड़े सुचारू रूप से और अपनी आत्मा से, अपनी रूह से जुड़ कर पढ़ते हैं, तो वो खूबसूरत लम्हा शायद इतिहास में लिखा जाने लायक है. बहुत ही समझदार लोग, बहुत गहरी सोच रखने वाले लोग. और रितु जी ने जब इसको लिखना शुरू किया, मेरी काफ़ी, हमारी सेलिब्रिटी क्लब ऑफ इंडिया की मेंबर हैं वो, तो जो उनकी सोच थी, जो उनका मकसद था, जो उनका कहने का अभिप्राय था कि जो मैं लिखना चाहती हूँ क्या वो लोग पढ़ेंगे, ये सवाल था सबसे पहला. तो एक शेर है, उस शेर के जरिए ही वो आंसर मैंने उनको दिया था कि पाना है अगर मंजिल को तो अपनी सोच को बदलो, कश्तियां बदलने से कभी साहिल नहीं मिला सर. जब आप अपनी सोच को बदलते हैं, जब आप अपनी मंजिल को फोकस करते हैं, वो ये फोकस आज हमारे सामने है, वो ये मंजिल हमारे सामने है. किसी भी चीज को पाने के लिए आपको जुड़ना पड़ता है, आपको नेस्तनाबूद अपनी हस्ती को करना पड़ता है, अपने आप को उसमें डुबोना पड़ता है. अखलाक के कदमों में कभी कलंदर नहीं गिरता, टूटे हर सितारा तो भी जमीन पर नहीं गिरता. अरे गिरते हैं बड़े शौक से समंदर में दरिया, मगर किसी दरिया में समंदर नहीं गिरता. ये वो समंदर है ये किताब. ये 300-400 पेज नहीं है, ये दरअसल एक इतिहास है, एक हिस्ट्री है. और जो मेरा भी इसमें जिक्र है, ये मेरी खुशनसीबी है कि इस दास का भी उसके अंदर जिक्र किया गया है. बहुत धन्यवाद रितु जी, बहुत धन्यवाद इस शो को अरेंज करने में जिन लोगों का हाथ है, जिन लोगों की आज के ज़माने में, क्योंकि हमने पढ़ना छोड़ दिया है, हमने आदतें बदल दी हैं, हम सब कुछ त्यागते चले जा रहे हैं, बेसिक छोड़ते चले जा रहे हैं. अपना मूल, अपनी जड़, अपना व्यक्तित्व, अपनी असलियत जिस दिन जो इंसान छोड़ जाता है, उसके बाद उस पेड़ पे कभी पत्ते नहीं आते, ना उस देश की तरक्की होती है. तो थैंक यू कि आप लोग जुड़े हो और सुन रहे हो. सबको सल्यूट है, सबको सलाम है. खुश रहिए, जीते रहिए, अपनी ज़िंदगी में पॉजिटिव रहिए, खुद भी जिए और दूसरों को भी जीने का मकसद दीजिए, क्योंकि आप मुस्कुराएंगे तभी तो ज़िंदगी पॉजिटिव होगी. आपकी एक मुस्कुराहट, तुम्हारी एक मुस्कुराहट पे कुर्बान सारे जहां की दौलत. इंसान अच्छा हो तो कीमत नहीं देती. थैंक यू.
सुशांत.
read this, like I've listened to the transcript so many times, so almost imprinted in my mind, but still to keep things efficient, I got this book. So there are two anecdotes that I'm going to share. One is from Bollywood. Actually, both are from but one is from my school, so I'm going to share two of them. The first one is, good preparation is a must for any sort of work, and for public speaking, practicing goes a long way, as it saves you from getting cold feet during the presentation. Actor Divya in her book, The Stars in the Sky, writes that she is thankful to Sonu Nigam, who showed her the way to hold the attention of the audience. During one stage show where she was hosting, Sonu guided her not to stick to marked lines and gave her the following tip. Keep changing your lines according to the kind of audience you are with. Chat and interact with them. Make them feel like you're aiming for your lines at each one of them. Don't just say the lines, feel them. Datta says that since when she has never followed only scripted line on stage, she always mixes and matches, chats with the audience, and makes the world her home. This is the mantra and this is the magic to make the audience eat out of your hands. This is the idiom which is by her. Today, she feels blessed to be considered as a topmost coach. Right. Now, second is about another Bollywood anecdote, but it's related to my school, modern school Barakamba, so I'm going to just read it out. The youth should keep themselves engaged in a constructive, creative, and useful work for the country. Being busy in the creative work will keep the spirits high and will also keep them from falling into the doldrums. Actions speak louder than words. Love has to be shown by deeds, not words. Therefore, youth should show their love for the country through the actual work rather than just raising mere slogans, as the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Rang De Basanti is the sort of film that lights a fire within the citizens. The heartwarming story of 5 friends is still relevant today. Actor Kunal Kapoor says that the most important message of the movie is that it talks about not being cynical and complaining, but also taking responsibility. Rang De Basanti is a movie that not only binds me to my country patriotically, but also to my alma mater, modern school, as most of the memorable scenes have been shot there. The school was converted into the iconic building of All India Radio in the movie. It gives me immense pleasure to write about it as my school completed 100 years on 20th October 2020. It is an amazing feeling that the school has completed a century. The school motto is Nai Maatmya Banina Labhi, which translates to self-realization cannot be achieved by the weak. It is hard to decide whether the movie did justice to the school or vice versa. The film had a deep impact on the audience. Its impact is on the collective conscience of the people. It's a sort of movie that will stand the test of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Shija.
Then only the books will sell. All the publishers are saying, or the writers are saying the same thing.
So we'll be having the book signing now, and this one.